Hey guys, I am so elated to be here. I'm sorry for the inconsistency in my content. This job is no joke. I really give it up to the people who do content creation because it's a lot, especially that editing part. Anyway, let's talk about the cost of poor communication. The cost of poor communication. So, communication, we'd consider it one of the greatest elements of sustainable business customer relationships. Not just customers, sustainable business supply relationships, sustainable business to business relationships, and all that. So, communication is holistic when it comes to businesses and it covers quite a large aspect. But today we'll be focusing on the business customer relationships and the cost of poor communication. Now, let's delve into the five big consequences of not getting communication right for your business. One, there is very high financial losses due to miscommunication. Now, this fact will blow your mind. And this one really hit hard. Can you imagine Grammarly and a blog called the Harris Poll? They did this research on how communication is affecting businesses in US, and they realized that US businesses are losing 1.2 trillion annually due to poor communication. And that's according to a study that was done by Grammarly and the Harris Poll. So you can imagine if this study was also done in Kenya or Africa, how much businesses could be losing. Because come on, we have to admit that we are quite behind when it comes to good communication as businesses in Kenya and Africa. But a number of businesses are managing or are able to make big strides in this step just because they have understood the concept of good communication, and they've also understood how impactful it could be if they are able to use communication effectively in addressing their customers' needs. Now, with this research that was done, they realized that misunderstood instructions and inefficient collaboration between departments didn't just waste time, they cost a lot of money. Now, this isn't just a US problem. Any business, big or small, suffers when there's poor communication breakdown. So it's up to you to understand how good communication can be efficient and how good communication can assist your business in achieving its goals, targets, and results. Now, let's look at the other cost of poor communication: increased customer churn. What do I mean by increased customer churn? Churn is the rate at which your customers are leaving your business or leaving your brand and going to your competitor. The rate at which they are leaving your brand or business to have those same services or products from another business. Now, a good research was also done on this, and 70% of customers have actually claimed to switch to a competitor because of poor communication. Interesting, yeah? About that. You could offer a great product or service, but if your customers feel ignored, misunderstood, or left in the dark, yeah, of things are happening in your business, they will quickly walk away. And that's because of the high agility that there is when it comes to competitors. Competitors are very aggressive right now. We are living in a very agile business environment. Now, digital communication channels like email, even chat boxes, and all that are not just optional right now, they are essential because they could be that thing that makes you ahead of your competitors. It could be the reason that you are probably not being efficient or prompt, not being able to address things in good time. If you are using emails, yeah, you use emails for your communication and you have not yet adopted other channels for your communication, and you're running a business that is quite invested in customers and reaching out to your business or your business reaching out to customers, if you are just using emails, there's a probability that you could be reading these emails quite late. And at that moment, your customer has already realized that they will not be assisted. Yeah. Assume you are using WhatsApp. WhatsApp is something that a lot of customers right now have on their phones because it is linked to their numbers. If you are using WhatsApp as a business, easy for a customer to reach out to you ASAP for you to address an issue. And it's also easy for you to communicate to this client or customer immediately, even if you not be able to resolve that matter. What you have done is you have assured the client that you have learned of his problem, empathized with him, and offered a resolution timeline. Doing that simple action will really help you retain a lot of customers. And that is why you have to be able to assess your business to see if you have put the right communication channels in place. Because if you have not, your gaps in communication and those delays could be costing you a lot. Now, let's look at the other aspect. The other cost of poor communication, obviously, is the damaged customer relationships that you'll have. And not just that, but to your brand reputation. There's quite a damaged reputation that poor communication gives businesses, brands. And if you were to look deeper into this, every interaction with your customer tells a story about your brand. Now, miscommunication and giving wrong details or slow responses frustrates customers. And this leads to broken trust. It leads to lags. It leads to lack of reliability with your business, especially in this age of online reviews and social media. One bad comment can snowball your business into a reputation crisis because the reviews are communicating something to the customer. The reviews your business is getting is communicating something about your brand. Now, as a business, try to ensure that you're getting good reviews. And even if you get a bad review, use that review to better your business. Use that bad review to provide a solution and to come up with the tools that will be able to ensure that this bad feedback will never happen again. So, if you are able to tap into what we call the customer channels that are out there, the social media channels also, you're able to use those reviews to help better your business and to build trust with your customers. Feedback is very good when you're able to assess it efficiently and effectively to better your business and processes. So, that is one of the other costs of poor communication. The other cost that comes in is decreased customer satisfaction. Now, eventually, satisfaction will become a determining factor of whether customers will stay or leave. Because if they're really not satisfied with how you are communicating and the response time that is there with your business, they will eventually have to look for another business. They will eventually have to walk away. And let's be honest, yeah, customers do not just live quietly. They tell others. They will tell someone else, will go tell, hey, by there, I heard this about this business, do not dare. And you do not want that for your business. So please ensure that you are able to improve your communication as a business. Now, I'm talking a lot about the cost of poor communication. I'll be doing another vlog where I'll be talking about the systems you can put in place to improve the communication you have as a small or medium business to allow customers to be fully satisfied, fully engaged, and not just engaged. They will be referring you to other people and talking about your business in a very positive way that allows you to not only grow but scale just as a result of the brand that you have set out there as a business. Now, let's look at the other cost of poor communication, and that is operational inefficiencies. So, this is a lot to do with the business internally because it's as a result of internal inefficiencies. But this internal inefficiency, when it comes to communication, will obviously trickle down to the relationship you are trying to maintain with your customers. Now, poor communication causes confusion. First of all, it causes confusion in the business where a team wastes time maybe trying to understand or to report or to repeat tasks. Yeah. Recently experienced a challenge with a team I work, and this challenge was as a result of perceived communication. And I realized that communication is so crucial. How you share it and how it's conveyed can also trigger a number of things. How the person who receives this communication can perceive as a number of elements from how you communicate. Now, looking at that, if such are rising a lot in your business, especially among your team, it is really important to ensure that your team are empowered to know how best to communicate. It's good to have a brand messaging form of how you communicate with clients, and not just clients but your teammates, ensuring that there's no repetition, ensuring that instructions are given clearly in the communication, ensuring that all the necessary things are well highlighted in your communication, and the call to action is also there, because you could be requesting for something but the call to action is not there. You could be saying, hey, need to set up this project and we'd like it to commence on the 30th of May. While at it, we'll be doing this and this. Now, you really communicated something about the project. However, you have not created, or rather communicated, the timing when you'd like to set up this, in terms of like meeting that you'd like to discuss this project. You've not also communicated the timeline of that project, when you perceive it will end because of the analysis you've done about on the project, when you perceive all that, because this is information that will also help the person receiving it be able to adjust themselves to ensure that they align to that communication and deliver. So a lot of this unclear communication is what creates this breakdown that is leading to a loss of 1.2 trillion in US businesses. So imagine all those, if those things be clearly sorted out, you'll be able to improve your business impactfully, especially when it comes to assisting your customers. Now, imagine the potential that is lost just because instructions that weren't clear and updates weren't shared in time are not there. So imagine the potential that is lost by just simple mistakes that are internal. Now, what's the takeaway from this? Strong communication isn't just a nice to have thing. It's the backbone of customer loyalty, it's the backbone of business growth, and it's also the backbone of team efficiency. Now, if you want to keep your clients happy, if you want to keep them satisfied, and you want to retain your team, it is important to build a brand that's respected. It's important to build a brand that has its communication right. And thanks for watching this, because I'll be talking about the various ways and the various things that you could do to improve your communication. So we look and delve further into how you can improve your businesses with the right systems and tools for effective communication. Now, my name is Elsie Minor. I'm a strategic customer service coach, helping businesses scale through meaningful relationships with their customers. And if you need assistance in developing strategies for your small or medium business that will allow, or rather ensure that is efficient communication, and hence also the communication that is with your customers and even employees, or creating materials that will serve as guidelines, feel free to reach out to me. You can reach out on my TikTok videos, message me, DM me, or even email me, yeah, on links that I will share on this vlog. So thank you so much, and catch you on the next vlog.